Hello, everyone. It's Dr. Cary Yurkiw here. Welcome to our webinar on starting your dream to run your first marathon. I remember what it was like years ago when I had that dream too. And it's been quite a journey of many different half and full marathons over the last 25 years. I'm a chiropractor and an avid runner. I started running marathons in my early 20s. And I've done many full, half marathons and some 5Ks. The last one I did was in Las Vegas, and that was last year. It was really exciting to be there and to run in that race. And it was a night race, actually, and that's why I really wanted to do that. If you have the dream of running a marathon, you can do it too. I know it's a big goal that many people have on their bucket list, but you can accomplish it. You'll have to take baby steps to get there, and we're going to go over that today, and I'll give you some tips. But I do recommend that you challenge yourself. I would check in with your doctor, or if you have a chiropractor, physiotherapist, just to make sure that if there's any underlying conditions, it's the right thing for you. But for most people, you can accomplish the goal of running a marathon. You might even know somebody who has run a marathon and they've told you about it, and maybe they've encouraged you, or you have a friend or a spouse that you'd like to run with, and that's a great way to train. I ran track in school, but I was a little bit too heavy, and I was tall and a little bit thick, and wasn't the fastest runner. So I enjoyed it, especially cross country, but really couldn't compete at a higher level. When I went to chiropractic college and I came back, I returned, and I had a roommate, and he was a fantastic runner, and he won a lot of championships at our high school. And he encouraged me to run. He said, come on out with me and we'll do some training. I'll show you some tips. And we started training. And I really liked it. I liked the peace and the it's a bit meditative when you're running and you get into a zone and you feel really good. And if you track your pace, you can track your pace on your watch and just see how you're doing and record, have a goal and then record everything in a log. So he gave me a lot of tips, which I still use to this day when I run races. So today I want to pass on some of these tips and just the basics. If you have the dream, but you haven't really started yet, well, it all starts with a dream. Choose an event. That would be something I'd recommend. Find an event and sign up for the lowest distance that you can. So let's say close to your area, maybe in your city or town. Sign up for the next marathon. And I know everything's on hold right now, but it'll resume again. And so have that goal of training over the next 6 months and do a 5K. Or do the family walk, or whatever the shortest distance and the easiest pace would be for you. I like to do 2 marathons a year. That way I can take a break after the marathon and then resume training. For me, it usually takes 3 to 4 months to get in really good shape and to be prepared for a marathon, especially a full marathon. Half marathon's a little bit easier, and of course gets easier with a 10K and a 5K, but that's when you've already done marathons. It's easier. If you're just starting out, it's going to seem like a big goal. So start the journey. Start with walking, and I'd recommend a 20 to 30 minute walk. Record your pace. Just have a route and maybe map it out, 2 or 3 kilometers, and how fast you walked. and then record that in a log. And then when you're ready, and you think you can do more, try to increase your pace. Try to take a minute off that course, or maybe extend the course a bit. Instead of doing 20 to 30 minutes, you might be want to be in the 30 to 35 minute zone. The next step for you would be to go to a light jog. As long as you're feeling okay, if you've got any joint issues or back issues, then consult with a health professional. But stay well hydrated before, after, and during your light jog. So make sure before you go out, you're drinking quite a bit of water. If you're running first thing in the morning, drink water the night before so your body's well hydrated. During the event, depending on the length of your run or your walk, make sure you take a water bottle with you, or you can get a belt that has water that sits inside the running belt. So you can have that with you, and even you can put some gel in there or something like that to give you some extra boost of nutrition. And that's usually for those longer runs. And then eat more protein, because if you're pushing your body, the tissues, the muscles and the ligaments will start to break down a bit, and they'll need to be repaired and strengthened, and the body needs protein to rebuild the body. So make sure you focus a little bit more on protein, and you'll find that you get in better shape if you're eating more protein as well. So it's one of the recommendations I would make for training. Get a running buddy. Train with someone that is a runner or has run before. If they haven't, make sure you're on the same page as far as setting goals together, and then enjoy the process. Enjoy getting out and going for your regular walks or runs. You could meet them once or twice a week. And I'd encourage you to still have your own training days where you're testing yourself out and pushing yourself a little bit to do your personal best. Keep a log, keep a journal, or a spreadsheet where you record the distance you went, the time it took, and then how you felt. That's a basic recording in a journal. And you felt really well. You were a little tired. You found it difficult. It was really easy. And then your goal is to increase a little bit each week. So take a minute off that time, go a little bit farther, increase the pace a little bit. And set your schedule for the week. So once a week, maybe on the weekend, sit down and say, well, what am I going to do this week? What are my goals? And look at the big picture. Look at the long-term goal. If you want to run a 5K, start with 1 or 2, and then work your way up to 3 or 4 or 5K. But plan that out along the way. Make sure that each month you're increasing at a pace where you can accomplish that goal once you get to race day. What's better, indoor or outdoor runs? I would say if you live in a climate where it's not conducive to running outside, maybe it's winter, it's snowy or slushy, I would recommend being indoors during that time. The hard part with indoors sometimes is the corners. I find if you're running, going around a lot of corners isn't great for your knees and ankles. I prefer outdoors. And I like outdoors also because of the elements. You never know what kind of weather you're going to get on race day, and you want to be prepared for rain or cool weather. So it prepares you clothing-wise and mentally for running a race. Well, race day, what is that like? Well, I personally love the event, and I think when I did my first marathon, it really got me hooked on the fact that how much I loved the event. I became passionate about it. The races usually start early, although Las Vegas was a night race, so it started at dusk. I find it hard to sleep the night before because generally you're excited and anticipating the event. But when you get there and just how everything's set up and how big the event is and the streets are shut down and you have so many fellow participants, and then volunteers and people from that city that come out to cheer you on. I just love it. I think it's one of the greatest things you can participate in. So it's well worth all the training and the travel if you have to go there. I love the participation of it, the getting to the finish line and getting your medal. I love the signs and all the people that are cheering, and then encouraging fellow runners. Often along the way in the race, somebody's struggling a bit and you give them some encouragement, or you're struggling and they're encouraging you. You can do it, keep it up. So I really like the camaraderie at events like that. And the major distances at a marathon are 5K, 10K, 21, and 42. So the 5K is where you should start. And once you get comfortable with that, do the 10K. And then the half marathon is 21. And then 42 is the full marathon. Build yourself up over time. So physically get in better shape as you train. Mentally get strong, because as you train longer distances, sometimes you feel like you can't do it. Or these doubts creep into your mind, like maybe I signed up for something that I can't accomplish, or I'm really in some pain with my ankle or my knee or my hip or my back. I'm not sure I can make it. So a lot of different thoughts come into your mind when you're running races or you're preparing for it. So build up the mental strength, the physical endurance and strength. And if you're going to run longer distances, so if you're going from the 21, the half marathon, to the 42, I found nutrition being really important to go from a half to a full marathon. Your body needs the right electrolytes. It needs to stay balanced and hydrated. It's a very long race. And so just having the right nutrition, snacks, and in your body, the physiology being used to it, that's very important. So in summary, you can do it too. I had that dream, and if you have that dream, you can run a marathon. Take your first steps. Just get out of the starting blocks by setting up a training routine, and track that routine in a journal so that you can see how you're progressing and make sure you're on track for accomplishing your goal come race day. Pick an event and register. I find that's something you should do early on, like right now. Look at some events close by, make it easy. Pick an event in your city, sign up for it as soon as that event is open for registration, and then sign up for the shortest race you can do, and 5K would be reasonable. So start your journey, get a buddy to do that, and enjoy that journey, because it really is a great accomplishment. I'd like to thank you for joining me today on this webinar on how to run your first marathon. If you have any questions, I'll have a recording of this and I'll post it. But if you do have questions, you can please, you can leave a comment below. You can also contact me, reach out to me. And for future courses on running marathons and accomplishing your dream of participating in one. And then I am offering one-on-one coaching for people that may want to run a marathon in the future. So don't hesitate to reach out. And I hope you learned a few things from this webinar today. And thank you for joining us.